If you're watching this episode and you still haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Subscribe now. It's free. Also, hit the like button and the notification bell. Share this episode with a friend. Don't forget to shop your real estate merch on our website. Real Estate and Chill, bringing you the hottest real estate interviews. Let's get it.
Welcome back to the newest episode of the Real Estate and Chill podcast. I'm your host, James Shetty, here for all your residential financial needs. Here with
Kevin Iglesias, associate real estate broker. Today in the building, as always, it's $1 million episode. If you guys haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and share this episode. We got the one and only Michelle Vega in the building. Let's go!
That was loud.
Yo, don't aim it at me.
Yeah. Twist it that way.
It's twisted.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Whoa. Hey.
Wait, hold on.
Oh,
Hey,
gosh.
Mad delayed.
All
It'd
right.
be funny if there's people out there that have no idea what's going
What the
on.
heck is
That'd be so
going
funny.
on? Well,
I like
thank
it.
you. All
Sounds
the way
like
from
gunshots.
North Carolina, right?
North Carolina, yes.
Awesome. So give us a little background of who you are, what you do, and how this all happened.
Okay, so I'm Michelle Vega. I was born and raised in Jersey, A. So I moved to North Carolina when I was 18 years old. So I've been doing real estate for about 8 years now. I started when I was 21 years old, and before real estate, I was in corporate America, but it wasn't really doing much for me. As a young Latina, had a lot to say type of woman out there. Just people didn't really respect that in corporate America, and they didn't really give me the opportunity to move up. So I knew I wanted to do something. I just didn't know what at the time. I probably watched way too much HGTV. I was like, yo, selling houses is going to be easy. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely not easy, but I got my license and then never looked back, and that's how it all got started. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Wow, that's awesome.
So let's go through some of your accolades. 330 houses sold in 2022.
Yeah, it was about 350
Wait, before we go
actually.
into
Yeah.
that, just so you guys know, you guys just have some stuff on you just for the
All right,
quiz
who
and
cares?
stuff.
Who
I'm just
cares?
saying
It's a
for
party.
you, you have, like,
All right,
a
stop
thing on.
interrupting. 350 houses sold in 2022.
Uh-huh.
How?
You gotta be a little bit crazy, my guy. You definitely gotta be a little bit crazy, but I have a team out there in North Carolina now. I completely got out of production in order to scale up. When I was in production, selling by myself, I was doing about 130 houses on some crazy shit. So
Wow.
I knew if I wanted to do more, I had to take a step back and kind of develop my team and go from there.
Now, I feel like everybody is like moving
take
from
that off
North
your jacket.
Carolina.
I keep staring at it.
I feel like everybody's
It's right there. I don't know what that is.
That was it.
just a rapper. I feel like everybody's moving from New York City and going to the Carolinas. Like, are you meeting a lot of New Yorkers? Like,
Yo, dead ass. They don't even like us over there. But yeah, I welcome all New Yorkers. Of course, we need a little bit more sazon over there, I feel like. But yeah, I mean, I think the major turning point too was during COVID. You know, because the city shut down, and
Yeah.
I think in a lot of major cities, it was like that moment to decide, are we gonna move somewhere else? And North Carolina, it's just been developing like crazy for years. And then after COVID, we saw a lot of people move from major cities over there.
so you start to see like a lot of do-rags, a lot of New York Yankee fitteds, a lot of Timbs.
Yeah, the Timbos.
Bing, bong.
During COVID, how was everything over there? Like, how was like the price increases and everything? Like, was it like New York, like where prices were driving up like
Word,
crazy?
what's like the average price over there?
The average price point in Wake County, Raleigh is in the 400s.
Sheesh.
That's we get a report every month. That's what it says. But the thing about COVID, right? It's just that we only shut down for a little bit. It wasn't like here. Like I remember traveling to New York and I ain't never seen nothing. Like I was in Times Square. I'm like, yo, where people at, my guy?
Literally, nobody's here.
And then real estate wasn't even selling like that in the city. I would hop on Zillow and I was like, damn, the city just became affordable for me. Like, that's crazy, right? So, but in North Carolina, we were probably shut down for a few weeks, and then it was crazy because a lot of people took their money from the big city, sold their houses, and then invested into North Carolina. And
Right.
you can buy a lot more over there for sure.
That's honestly like I always hear people saying that they want to move out of New York and like retire in North Carolina because the prices are so nice and like the housing prices are so nice and like I don't know.
It's like a slower living.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely was a culture shock when I moved when I was 18. I didn't know how to drive. Like, I was still a kid. I thought I was gonna go over there and go to college or something like that, and I had to grow up real quick. But it was definitely a culture shock. Like, I didn't know how to drive, so I had to like literally walk miles to the nearest Target. It was crazy.
Wait, what part of Jersey are you from?
Like Union City area, so like right across the river. It's almost New York, bro.
Oh, okay. How far is that from Hoboken?
So I was born in Hoboken, like
Okay.
15 minutes,
That's
10
not bad
minutes.
at all.
That's not bad at all.
Yeah.
But-
But for example, my mom, right? She had a house, like a multi-family in Jersey, right? So she had it since I was little, whatever. And she's been in North Carolina now for 4 years. But I remember her selling it. She took all her equity in there, and she was able to buy with that money like 3 houses over there in cash.
Wow.
And then we were able to leverage those houses, over the next couple of years. And in 3 years, I was able to take those 3 houses, and now she has a portfolio of 17 houses.
Wow.
Damn. So so that's what inspired you to basically say, you know what, I'm gonna start doing the same basically and investing when you got into the game.
No, I was already investing with my mom.
You already
yeah,
invested
I'm
with
the
your
one
mom.
who told my family, yo, come to North Carolina. This is where it be at. So I'm the one who kind of empowered, folks to move over there because I was already in real estate. I was already in production, killing it. And I knew I wanted to grow and, of course, help the fams out. Yeah.
So what made you get interested though? I feel like that's not like everybody's first thought is like, you know what, let me invest. Like,
Yo, the thing is, I knew very early on, like, okay, I'm gonna make money selling houses and doing transactions, but yo, I don't want to open doors for the rest of my life, yo. I don't want to that's not sustainable. So in order for me to be able to, create a system and create different streams of income, I needed to start very early on. So I remember like my first year in real estate, I saved up all my commission checks. Yo, I was on a ramen noodle diet, not because I couldn't afford anything else, it's because I was literally stashing all my money in order to buy my first foreclosure over there. And my first foreclosure literally cost me $40,000, but I paid that in cash. Boom.
Wow.
Like
I
$40,000.
wish you could find it here.
Yeah, but this was years ago. There's nothing for 40 anymore
Nah.
over there. But I'm talking about 5-6 years ago. And I just put all my money away, bought my first foreclosure, and then it just kind of, rippled.
Like
from there.
snowballed.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's like bigger things. What
Yeah.
was like your investing strategy? Like, so when you first got into it, like obviously you bought your first one. Like, what was
Yeah.
like your strategy to like continue expanding?
Yo, I was scared as shit doing my first investment. I ain't gonna lie to you, it was scary because not only was I buying I was buying a foreclosure where you kind of don't know much about the house, right? And then I had to start basically hiring subs to do all the work, and which was extremely difficult to do, staying on top of everybody to do their job. And I still had to make money on the transaction side of the business. But my strategy on that one, I gave myself 6 months. Okay, I'm gonna do the rehab, hope for the best, cross my fingers, hopefully sell it. And I mean, it didn't go bad. I made $22,000 off my first flip, and I was like, thank you, Jesus. I mean, your first investment, you kind of have to. I was mentally prepared not to make any money, just to kind of, take my investment out, and that's it. But I think I did pretty well for my first one.
I would say so. 50% return is pretty good, I would say.
Yeah.
But like what you just said, I feel like people don't like give that enough thought. It's like I gotta try it and make sure that it works first. And it's like even if you didn't do super well your first flip, you still learn so much that like it makes the experience worth it.
Yeah.
Like even if you lost a few $1,000s there, like just learning how to do all this stuff, I feel like is worth that money.
Yeah, I mean, most definitely. And then after doing the flips, I knew that I also had to start buying rentals, right? So then I got into the rental business and, figuring out what the best strategy for that was, right? And my strategy in the beginning was to buy very affordable housing. Because a lot of times, like the rentals that I was buying, I was putting some of my own clients into these houses if they couldn't immediately qualify to buy a house. So it just worked out either
that's
way.
perfect.
Yeah.
It's a win-win situation because if they're ever ready, you're like, all right, let's go look.
Exactly. We ready. Yeah.
What made you get into the Airbnb space? That's something that's really interesting. Like, especially with everything now that's changing with the laws and everything else. Have you guys been affected down there?
So the thing with the Airbnb, I got into it simply because the interest rates, as we know, got completely out of control last year, right? And when this started happening, I knew I needed to change the strategy because I never want to be at a point where I'm like, oh, the market is crazy, blah, 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 I'm going to stop buying. And I'm gonna be conservative. Yo, like scared money don't make no money. So I knew I wanted to continue buying. I just had to change the strategy, right? So my mortgage payments on these houses were gonna be extremely high. So I was like, what can I do in order to have more income on these houses? And then that's when I started converting some of my long-term rentals into short-term rentals, Airbnbs. And I started buying houses, with the intention of doing Airbnb. And some of them, obviously double the income there. Just depends, but
so let's rewind it back just real quick, just so if anybody isn't too familiar with the Airbnb space. Yeah. So let's give it like a little bit of let's give everyone a little bit of idea what it is. So Airbnb space, if you don't mind going into it, what it is and everything.
Yeah. So the Airbnb space is very different because it's like you're literally running a hotel business. I was extremely scared when I started the Airbnb because I was like, hey, yo, people are going to ask me hella questions. I'm going to have to be on top of this 24/7. And I see the questions that people ask because I have a property manager now, but I would sometimes go in the chats and see the silly questions that guests ask, where are the coffee cups? Where are the towels? Yo, look for it, bro. So I was like, yo, I cannot manage my own houses because, my answers were going to be real sassy. So I was like, nah, I have to figure out how to do this with a property manager because I had a property manager for my long-term rentals, but the Airbnb is yo, you got to be on top of it, my guy. So I think that was a major point where I was really, really scared. And then the other thing is that, yo, what if they destroy your property? Because everybody thinks that, right? Yo, I got this Airbnb, my house is popping, but what if they destroy it with house parties? That was another thing for me. But luckily, Airbnb has really, really good insurance. So if something were to happen like that, obviously we take safety precautions, but they'll jump in and cover it for you if a guest destroys the property, which is great,
Wow.
Yeah, so peace of mind.
Now you're starting to do Airbnb themed houses. She's got a Barbie house, a Batman house. What made you get in? Because that's super creative. That's dope. There's so many people that I can think of that would love to be you know what? I want to go check that out.
Yeah. So I started doing the themes because I'm a little bit crazy and I like to do creative stuff.
I couldn't tell.
I became obsessed with the whole Barbie stuff. I love pink, believe it or not. And
so does James.
Yo, that
I love pink.
Yeah.
Yo, pink is great. But anyways, so it started with one Barbie house. I already had a house that was kind of pink. And I remember staying there one day randomly. And I'm like, yo, this house needs to be more pink. And I wanted it to be all Barbie themed. And it just kind of went from there. So then I bought a second house and made a second Barbie dream house. And then I was like, yo, this theme stuff works. And I'm so glad I did it because many of y'all probably have heard that in major cities, Airbnb is starting to become oversaturated. There's a lot of them, So I want to be able to create longevity in the game. And what better thing can I do? Let's make some themes and make it poppin'.
Have you ever seen that Netflix show, the Airbnb? There's an Airbnb Netflix show about the different places in the country that have creative Airbnbs and stuff. Have you ever seen that? Mm-mm. It's this show where it's one of them's in a rock cave, another one's in its own island. It's crazy. People do some crazy stuff with Airbnbs.
Very, very creative stuff.
But it's smart because not only you're basically giving them an experience. That's what people want to pay for, an experience. So it's smart.
Yes, exactly. I had a lot of fun doing the Batman house because I've always been a Batman fan my entire life.
We know somebody who would like to go to the Batman house.
Yeah.
McNamara would definitely like to go to the Batman house.
My attorney, he would love to stay
there.
Yeah. What the heck do you do in Carolina though? What is there? What is so? I know the prices are cheaper. But what is there to do though?
Yo, there's mad stuff to do. No, it's growing. I mean, like I said, it's one of the fastest growing areas in the whole U.S. I mean, look it up and no lie. And I mean, we're popping. I mean, we have the mountains 3-4 hours away, and then we have the beach 2 hours away. And Raleigh-Durham is popping, yo. You gotta stay at the Barbie house, my guy.
And a lot of colleges there too, right?
Yes, there is.
College towns, everything there.
Exactly.
About the Airbnb space. So what do you look out for when you're or what do you look for when you're trying to find a house that you can use for Airbnb?
Well, not every house is going to work, right? So it has to be either in the city, close to the jobs, close to where everything is it has to be in a populated area, right? And it could be in the mountains or something like that, you know. Like I'm in the process of purchasing another lake house right now, where it's gonna be really cool Airbnb vibes as well. But you can basically check the app to see if what you have will work for the platform. But you gotta, really measure. Like, is it close to schools? Is it close to, the universities, for example, North Carolina? Is it close to shops? And if people are gonna be staying here for work or whatever. So we get really short stays, like 1 or 2 days, and then we sometimes get really long stays, 30, 45 days, sometimes even 6 months people stay at our places.
So what about like when somebody makes like a long stay, do people ever like not leave?
Not yet.
No?
Don't
All right,
put
well,
that
that's a good
out
thing.
there, man. I don't want to be evicting
But I mean,
my
like
Airbnb
the tenant laws in North
guests.
Carolina are definitely different than the tenant laws in like New York.
Right? You can
For
get
sure.
a tenant out in like what, 30 days or so?
Yes.
New
Oh,
York,
New
it's
York
what,
is
2
different.
years?
Like a backlog. We backlog. Still
Like
backlog.
2 years takes.
Yeah, and then if you win the case in court, they basically give you 7 days. If not, the sheriff kicks you out.
Yeah, so
7
it's
days.
tenant. It's
Yeah.
landlord friendly in North Carolina.
Yeah. New
Not
York
here.
is tenant friendly.
Yep.
But that's interesting. I mean, I've never really touched too much into the Airbnb space. I've been seeing so many like TikTok gurus talk about it. Like they talk about like Airbnb arbitrage. Is that like a real thing? Does that actually exist? Like basically like calling somebody who owns a house, like that's putting like a rental up, like a long-term rental, calling them and saying like, hey, like I would love to make your house an Airbnb and I'll still pay you rent. Like, does that exist? Like,
It does. Very
And people do it though. I feel like
People do it. Like when I started working with one of my property managers, that's kind of what they did for a while. I haven't done it. I buy all the houses that I Airbnb. But yeah, I mean, you can make money so many different ways, man. You just gotta do it.
honestly, I feel like that's like a really like good way for somebody who doesn't have the funds to like get into an Airbnb or own a property, like get into it.
Yeah.
Like just literally calling up people, asking them if they can turn it into an Airbnb, still paying them rent. Like you have nothing in there. Like you could just do whatever,
Yeah.
So I feel like that's like a really good way.
But
to get
Airbnb,
started.
like right now where the interest rates sit, it's literally the way to go, man. Because I was not making the mortgage payments if I was gonna continue doing long-term rentals. So Airbnb definitely helped me out.
What's like your portfolio? Like, if you don't mind sharing, like, is it like 50-50? Is it like 75-25?
So right now I have like around 65, 70 houses in my investment portfolio, and about 22 of them are Airbnbs.
Wow.
Yes.
And moving forward, are you like trying to do more Airbnbs or like it just depends, like on what?
I mean,
the
it just
house
depends on the deal. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm under contract right now with the lake house. It's waterfront, and I'm getting it for $550, for example. You can't get those prices out here, but over there you can, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna turn that into an Airbnb because my mortgage is gonna be like hella high. But yesterday they just accepted a contract for a house that I'm buying about 40 minutes away from Raleigh, and I'm paying $90 for the house, and it's move-in ready, and I'm gonna turn that into a long-term rental. So I'm gonna be collecting there about $1,300 in rent.
From a $90,000 property?
Yes, sir.
That doesn't even, in New York, you can get
Yes,
something
sir.
that's like 600,000 and get like 2,500.
Yeah.
Like, literally,
Yeah, no. So it just depends. I can't tell you like, yo, I'm aiming more towards Airbnb or long-term rentals. It's like whatever makes sense for the deal. Every situation is gonna be different.
Right.
If you're watching this episode and you still haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Subscribe now. It's free. Also, hit the like button and the notification bell. Share this episode with a friend. Don't forget to shop your real estate merch on our website. Real Estate and Chill, bringing you the hottest real estate interviews. Let's get it.
So now you built this amazing team, right?
Yes.
It was just you. Now you built a team of what, 25 agents?
25 agents,
So
yes.
350-ish houses in 2022. How did you scale? Like, did you hire a coach? Did you like what was the process?
So I've never really had a coach. I've had mentors during the years and everything, but I just hired a coach recently. Shout out, coach. So I think that, okay, so here's the thing, right? I work 24/7. I work 7 days a week, no days off. That's the model. Everybody on my team know what the vibes are, and I know I'm a little bit crazy for that. I don't have much of a social life. I will one day, but right now, like, I have to scale up and build my empire. So when I started, like, knowing that I was gonna consistently sell over 100 houses by myself a year, right, and I was absolutely losing my mind, I knew that I wanted to teach other people how to do the same thing that I was doing, right? And I started, the whole getting agents under me was like a very organic thing. People started reaching out to me through social media because I was always big on that. And then, you know, assistants throughout the years for sure. Like I have a right hand, she's amazing. She helps me manage my team. My mom then came to move with me and she also helps me manage my team. But there's not really like a complicated system, man. You just gotta work hard, you know? Like I treat this job like a lifestyle. Like it's not a job. I don't clock out. It doesn't work that way. And everybody that works for me understands that you gotta live this. You gotta breathe this. You gotta wake up in the morning like, yo, I'm a realtor, but this is my lifestyle, bro. So if you have that mentality, you'll go far. It's the agents that want to treat this as a part-time, like those agents that sell 1 or 2 houses a year that are comfortable with that. Like, yo, that's you, bro. But I'm finna take all the money because you lazy. I'm not, you know? So, yeah, that's the motto, bro.
I agree. I mean, we preach that all day.
Yeah.
Like, literally, like, it's just like the hustle culture. Because the thing is, I've heard people say, like, people ask me questions all the time. They're like, all right, yeah, like I can be in from 9 to 5, but like treat it as like a 9 to 5 job.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, you can't. Like, you
cannot.
cannot do
But
that.
is it very like referral based, or is it like, because here there's a lot of like expires for sell by owners. Do you guys see that down there or no?
We do have people, obviously, I think everywhere people want to do the for sale by owner thing or, you know,
Like
the
what
entry
worked
only
for you?
listings.
Yeah, like what was it like referral based? Was it like people that
how
knew
did
you,
I-
like
how
or
did I-
social media? Yeah.
How did I get clients? Okay, yeah. So I started social media like very early on. I was at my old firm. I knew I wanted to grow my business through social media, but I didn't really figure it out then. At my old firm, everybody was kind of very like suit and tie. It was weird for me because I always had like a crazy personality. And, you know, before TikTok and everything, I'm talking about 8 years ago, bro, they had like Musical.ly, like, oh, you know, Instagram
Vimeo,
was
right?
popping. Vimeo, yeah, exactly. And these were all cool apps to use because, yo, I was doing MySpace back in the day, like religiously, you know? So people in my office didn't really agree with how I wanted to do business. You know, they were like, do an open house, like take pictures of your family and your dog and your husband. I'm like, yo, I ain't got a husband. I ain't got a dog. I got a black cat, my guy. What are you talking about? Where do I rent this fake family at? Like, so it was, you know, weird. But as they started to see that my social media started getting traction, they were like, oh, shit, she's really doing it. So it was really easy for me to leave that firm and kind of like branch out and do new things. But that's how I started creating my sphere of influence through social media because everybody kind of knew me as that person, you know, back in North Carolina. Like, oh, she's the realtor with the social media content. She's funny online and she expresses herself. And I never take this job too seriously, bro. I have fun with it, bro. Because it's a very serious job. Yo, you be depressed half the time, bro. Like, yo, my deal's falling through and this. And you got to have fun with it. That's how you
100%.
create longevity, for sure.
Well, we met talking about social media. We met you through our boy Steven Diaz,
Yeah.
who came and performed for us, and he
And
called
he
me.
did win the rap battle for everyone watching.
He did.
He did win the rap battle.
All right, you heard it here first. He
Okay.
won the rap battle.
Hey.
So he called me out the blue, and he was like, "Yo, what's going on?" And he's like, "Oh, my girl Michelle's in New York, and you guys should definitely link up." And I was like, "All right, let's make it happen."
Yeah.
You know. So
Yeah.
how did you meet him?
Through social media, you know, I think his team reached out to me one day. They're like, "Oh, you have such cool content," and they kind of, you know, put us in contact. And I actually met his whole team out there about 2 weeks ago in California,
Oh, nice.
and those were really cool vibes. So yeah,
He's cool.
I told
Yeah,
him
nah,
like
he's
I
super
I
cool.
want to be a rapper like him one day.
He would lose that rap battle.
Yo,
That's so crazy how like social media just like connects everyone together. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, he's obviously doing his thing, you're doing your thing, which is crazy, and then everyone just like kind of like comes together.
exactly.
You know?
Yeah,
But
exactly.
what was your like idea behind the social? Like, I know you say you were doing it as like a lifestyle, like you want to have fun with
Yeah.
it. And how do you think like it's impacted your business, like through social media?
Oh, it's great because there's so many realtors, bro. Like in my general area, there's probably like 15,000 realtors. So I tell my team all the time, like, yo, is you trying to be like the other 14,000 whatever realtors, or you trying to be you, bro? Because this is, you know, everybody's your competition at the end of the day, and you got to set yourself apart. You got to be unique. And, you know, putting yourself out online, like, you know, expressing who you really are is going to put you in contact with clients that are like you.
Right.
So at the end of the day, we want to work with people that are like-minded, and it's that's a great feeling, bro. I don't want to work with like stuck up, like suit and tie people, whatever. That's not my thing. It could be someone else's thing, but that's not my thing.
Yo, I'm suited tied up right now.
My bad, bro. No shade, my guy.
But all right, so with content, it's very important for you to be yourself. But what made you realize, like, okay, this works? Was it like a funny video? Was it educational? Was it value based? Like, what was it for you that said, you know what, this is gonna take off?
I didn't really expect it to take off like that, bro. But I think, okay. So I've always been very obsessed with like creative arts, and I watched way too many music videos as a kid, bro. I was like that TRL kid that got home after school, like, yo, Brittany dropped a new video. So I always wanted to be like some type of like artist. And then I became a realtor. I was like, yo, realtors make a lot of money. This is great. But how do I incorporate my creativeness into everything, right? Because, other than the real estate, I like to paint, I like fashion, I like this, I like that. So I wanted to blend everything together. And I think social media was kind of like, the glue to everything, for sure.
I really agree with what you said, though. Like, what you just said about, like, everyone, you have to, like, stand out from, like, the 15,000 other people.
Yeah.
Like, that's so true.
Yeah.
Like, everyone's, like, I see a lot of people posting the same things, and over that, like, I'm not really watching that. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not the consumer, but it's like, that's just my style.
A majority of my business is also on Facebook, too. Like, I do a lot more Facebook than I do Instagram.
What is it, like Facebook groups, though, or?
Just Facebook. Like, that's how I started. And then I used Instagram as a supplement to my brand. But I get a lot of business through Facebook. That's how it all started. But on Facebook, I have to be way more consistent. Like, I have to post, like, 2 or 3 times a day sometimes. Yeah.
But I feel like all bridges right now come back to Instagram. That's what I feel like. Everyone, like, funnels stuff back to Instagram. I feel like, I don't know.
Yeah, but the thing is, okay, my Instagram, right? I have a lot of followers that are like realtors and vendors and whatever, but a lot of my clients be on Facebook, my guy.
That's what I've been hearing too. Like, I post on Facebook.
Older, right?
Not even that. I mean, remember, I speak Spanish, so I help a lot of Hispanic folks, and that's where, abuelita via, like the tia.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yo, Hispanic people love Facebook, bro. So
that's true.
Same thing with Bengali
my
people.
Parents be on Facebook all the time, bro.
I feel like it's funny because my parents used to be like, "Oh, get off your phone all the time." And
I know. And then they got a phone and then they're
literally
on Facebook,
like, all
right?
the time.
Yeah.
Like me and my siblings are like, "Yo, can you guys get off your phones?"
Like, what are you
now?
doing
Like,
spending so much time on your phone? And then they got Facebook and they're just like,
yo, that ass.
Literally, it's crazy.
It is. My grandma is like my biggest supporter on Facebook. She comments on all my stuff. So yeah.
That's nice.
If you're watching this episode and you still haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Subscribe now. It's free. Also, hit the like button and the notification bell. Share this episode with a friend. Don't forget to shop your real estate merch on our website. Real Estate and Chill, bringing you the hottest real estate interviews. Let's get it.
In California 2 weeks ago, I met these 2 guys who make a bunch of money doing mailers. And I'm like, bro, I don't even know how to go to the post office and mail stuff. You know what I'm saying? So to each his own, right? And, out of my 25 agents, most of them do social media, but some of them don't. But I mentally prepare them. Okay, cool. You don't want to post, my guy, but you better be ready to sit down and do, your 100 calls a day. I put them on you got to have 20 contacts per day, new contacts, whatever, to start building your sphere. So you got to be about something, bro, and have consistency for sure.
I feel like it's good to be well-rounded in like a few different things.
Yeah.
Because I feel like some people only do social media. Some people only do like calling. Like, I feel like for me, it's like, I like to be well-versed in like everything. Like, there's not one thing anybody can call me out for and be like, you don't do this.
I believe in that. And if I didn't believe in diversification, I wouldn't be doing investing or any of that. I try to like have my money in different pots and everything. So I could agree with that.
Yeah.
in North Carolina, I'm going to segment off this. You say you have to move a lot of volume in order to do, live the lifestyle that you want to live.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Like, what is the average price point? So it's like $400,000. That's like a fully renovated house.
In Wake County, which is where Raleigh is like $450 around there. Yeah.
Is there like is that considered like luxury then?
Not really, but you get a really nice house at that price point. It just depends on the area. But I have to move volume because my clientele is different than everybody else. I don't sell luxury real estate. That's not my thing. Right. So I'm selling to first-time home buyers. I'm selling to first-time investors. I'm selling to, your average Joe, and I love that. That's what I wanted to do from the jump. Yeah.
Now, like the clients that you're helping, I'm sure they refer you out all the time. Like, what is, because you have to stand out as a realtor. Like, besides social media, like, what are you doing in that experience to give, adding value, knowledge?
Yes.
Like, what is that experience like with Michelle?
Right. So before real estate, I said I was in corporate America, but I was in the financing world. Like I used to work for like Rent a Center for a bit, and then I worked in telecommunications sales. So I did a little bit of everything, but I realized like there was a big market out there where they don't necessarily know how to get into a house, what they have to do. The education was off, and that's how I got into real estate, by being able to provide solutions for those people that didn't think that they could buy a house. So, my sales pitch all the time for like new buyers is like, I don't care if your credit is shot. I don't care if you didn't do your taxes. I don't care that you don't have any money. Let me start working with you because I can get you a house now, or let's work for the next couple of weeks so I can help you get there, right? So I also started getting very creative with the lenders that I work with, right? So I have lenders that don't ask for they don't do income verification. They're very flex on their credit score. We offer rent-to-own options over there. So we offer solutions for everybody. That's always been the goal.
Problem solving.
Good thing to have.
Yeah.
That's definitely a good thing to have. I think that now where things are moving, I feel like people should definitely be in different markets too. And I feel like that you went to North Carolina and you're tackling that space. I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, but realtors could definitely expand out on their horizon, be in more than one place.
Yeah.
I feel like traveling is cheap enough now where you can maybe hop on a plane and go to Florida for the weekend, meet some people, make some connections there. Like lenders too. I feel like everyone we're at the point where that's accessible to do. And I feel like a lot of people right now are investing in different areas too. They're not super hyper focused in New York because the cap rates are so much higher in other places, and they're starting to realize all right, maybe I'll go into this place and try to buy some stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I feel like it's just we're living in changing times right now.
Are all your properties in the Carolinas?
Yes.
You never thought about investing out of state?
My dream, bro, I ain't gonna lie, is to have a house in New York or in Jersey. But
really?
every time I fly out here, I look at Zillow, I'm like, yo, this kind of high, my guy. And no, but it's not even that. And then I look at the taxes, I'm like, what the hell?
What do the tax on a $400,000 house there?
So the tax rate is 1.3 in Durham and around 1% in Raleigh.
Wow.
So you're talking about 4,000-ish?
So if I get a $400,000 house, I'm talking about the taxes are probably gonna be $4,000 or $5,000 a year.
Over here, 500,000. The lowest you'll get is 8, 9. I guess low end.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
bro.
you don't want to know what I'm paying.
So I'm gonna have to wait on my dream for a little bit, but that's the goal one day, to have a house out here. Yeah.
That's what we gotta do. I'm victim of that too. I need to start expanding out to different places because Kevin and I both, we're invested in New York. We're only invested in New York.
Yeah.
So it's definitely need to expand my horizons, and I definitely need to get into Airbnb space too.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely gonna
Analyze a quick deal for us, all right? Let's say somebody brings you a deal. What does that deal have to look like to be obviously it's the numbers, but analyze it for us. So if somebody who's listening in could, if they're looking at something, be you know what, this kind of makes sense then.
Yes. Okay. So, the house they just accepted an offer on yesterday, right? So I negotiated down to 90. It's a 3-bedroom, 1-bath, 1,000 square feet, small house, right? I put 20% on that. My mortgage is gonna be dumb low, maybe $550, $600, but I'm gonna be collecting $1,300, in rent. So $1,300 in rent. My mortgage is gonna be dumb low. And that makes sense, right? So for the lake house is another thing, right? My mortgage is gonna be higher, but I know that on good months I'm gonna be raking in maybe $10,000, $11,000 a month. With
And that's
that Airbnb.
before paying the monthly, or does that profit?
No. So my mortgage on that is going to be
You don't have to
maybe
disclose it.
No, I don't. I'm an open book, right? My mortgage on the lake house, if I put 20% down, maybe $4,500, maybe $5,000, but I'm gonna be bringing in 10, 11 on good months, maybe 9,000 on bad months, because it's gonna be a cool looking Airbnb, So yeah, it just makes sense, bro. But I don't buy to just buy they have to make sense. You gotta create creative too. Back home, I flip a lot of properties too, right? So, but right now, the way the market is, not a lot of houses are selling. So, mentally, I am preparing to keep, half of the inventory that I'm currently flipping. Okay, cool. If I can't flip this, guess what? It's going into my rental portfolio. So now when I go and acquire properties to flip, it has to make sense as a rental for me as well. You have to have an exit strategy on all your investments.
I like that. Looking at it from like 2 different angles.
Yes,
like
sir.
just in case.
Yeah.
But
Give us one last strategy on how to blow up on social media. Like how to get a 30,000 plus following. What does it take?
Yeah, so you got to get creative, put yourself out there, experiment with what you do and see what works, right? So the other day, some girl in California, when we were doing an event, she was like, oh, like, should I be posting real estate statistics? I'm like, do you? If that's what the profile you want to have, make it cool around real estate statistics, and you're going to be like that smart fellow, like that people are going to hit you up about smart stuff. If I put statistics on my page, they're like, the fuck is this? I can't do that. People want to see like, crazy cool stuff on my thing, and they want to see me in costumes and all different stuff, But, a tip for those that want to grow their Facebook, for example, right now I have my agents doing 15 lives in 30 days. So every other day they're doing a Facebook live, at least 3 to 5 minutes, just talking about something real estate related. And when you do these lives, that goes immediately on all your friends, like the notification that this person is going live. So you get traction immediately and it works. We're like on day 16, 17, and we're getting hella leads off of Facebook by doing
That's smart. That's real smart.
Yeah. So
all right? So give us another Instagram tip, like, because obviously you have to be you. You have to be a personality on your page, right? Because they want to see you in costumes and everything else. How did you get 30,000 people to be like, you know what? Like, I'm just gonna follow this girl. Like, she's just it.
Yeah. I've had my Instagram for a long ass time, probably since like I was a teenager, right? So some of my following is even from here. But again, you just have to, grow your engagement and just experiment with stuff, right? So my social media now looks very different than it maybe looked like a year and a half or 2 years ago. Now I'm taking it more seriously. But I also shoot twice a week, right? I have a videographer back home. We're shooting Wednesdays and Sundays every week, and it's going to stay like that. But when I'm not with them, I'm shooting my own content. I'm into photography and stuff like that. But I also know, like, I had to stop with the photography, too, because, Reels is where it's at online, right? 100%. So I like photos, bro. I literally just bought a camera because I want to be like Peter Parker out here in the streets. You know what I'm saying? But, this is going to be for my own portfolio, but people don't like seeing pictures that much online. They want to see videos. So, yeah, we live in a TikTok world. What are you going to do?
Short attention spans.
TikTok is growing quickly now, too.
Yeah.
Like crazy. So I'm excited to see like what happens, because like everyone that's like out like younger now is saying like they don't even have Instagram, they only have TikTok now.
Yeah.
So it's like just as like I'm saying like I mean I do have Facebook, but like it's like I had Facebook, like a lot of my friends don't even have Facebook.
Yeah.
So it's like times are changing.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, look, we appreciate you coming here. This is so spontaneous,
Thank
so
you.
last minute. Anything that you could leave us off with?
I don't know. What do you want me to say?
Where can everyone contact you?
Oh, yeah. Instagram, my handle is Michelle_Renee_Vega, and my Facebook is Michelle Vega. Y'all can follow me on there, and I always post wild stuff. I just posted a Thanksgiving video today, which is lit.
Gotta check it out.
Reality TV show style, which is something different. I'm experimenting too, but my team, they're a bunch of characters, so we all went into character for the video. But thank you guys for having me. You're awesome.
Of course. Thanks for making the way out here.
Yeah.
We appreciate it. But all right, that was the latest episode of the Real Estate and Chill podcast. We will see you next time.
Thank you for tuning in to the Real Estate and Chill podcast with James Chaudhry and Kevin Iglesias. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, share this with your friends, your enemies, your mother-in-law. No, seriously, this podcast is so fucking good, you might want to tell your ex. See you next time.